Good morning, card community. This is RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day, kind of a singular item in two halves, one of which was Mike Schmidt and the other not so much, but you'll understand when I show it to you. 1981, two stickers that make up the 1980 Phillies team. And Mr. Schmidt is located right back there in the back row. So this one's the Schmidt one. This one's just an extra, but I didn't want to separate them. So they're together in my Schmidt binder. 1981 Topps sticker. Today's random baseball item of the day. Shout out to Pepino Man. I keep talking about wanting to send things to Pepino Man, but he never gives me his address, so I just keep talking about it. From this past year, 2024, I always got the Hobby Jumbo boxes of current Topps base product. I'm getting out of any purchases of Topps base anymore. I'm just going to start buying the whole complete set, keep my hobby dollar elsewhere. But last year I got the lapel pin, the random pin of Mookie Betts. And I know Pepino Man loves his Mookie. That's another, it's like one of 3 or 4 things I got set aside for Caesar whenever he chooses to email me his information. I will send that out to him. Today's trivia question. All week long it's been about baseball card oddities and baseball card trivia. Another great one for you. 1989 famously had the Dale Murphy reverse negative, an error that Upper Deck found and fixed, so the reverse negative version of that card is worth a little bit more. There's several of them out there. They're not impossible to find, but they do come with a bit of a premium. Also very famously, but not so well known, from 1957, what other very famous Braves player appeared on his 1957 Topps card in reverse negative format? This one was not ever corrected, and that's the way the base card is to this day. So name for me that Braves player in the 57 set that has a reverse negative image. What you're playing for, another 2 awesome cards from 2024 Topps Archives. The great Ted Williams and the equally great Satchel Paige. So 2 legendary Hall of Famers up for grabs on the Topps Archive from 2024. That's what you're playing for. Just shoot me an email if you want those cards. My email will be in the description below, along with a repeat of that question you'll have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that. Today, what I want to show off is a little set that I've been acquiring over the years, and I finally went on a spending binge of sorts. These cards are not extremely valuable, very easy to acquire, but I went ahead and grabbed them so I could have a complete set. It is from 2008, the Topps set called Trading Card History. I'm actually going to go through these pretty quickly with you. I actually figured out most of the cards are labeled on the back. It'll tell you what card these were modeled after. But there's a couple of them where, for whatever reason, Topps, when they produce these cards, they're all inspired by legendary card sets, but sometimes they didn't tell you what set it was. And you'll see that in a second. So I'm going to go through all 75 cards. Most of them will be obvious, but let's see how well you do. Play along. I will show you the card, wait for a very brief period of time. See how many of these you'll know instantly. Are you right? Here we go. What is this card? Anybody who knows baseball knows this is the 1969 Topps design. Here's the next one. 55 Bowman, in case you didn't know. You'll see on the back it does tell you what card set these are. This was actually a product issued in its own separate packs and boxes of cards, believe it or not. This one, obviously, this is a T206 modeled card. Tells you on the back. What do you think you got here? This is what I'm talking about, though, when I say Sometimes it doesn't tell you what it is. It simply says a 1934 baseball card, but it doesn't tell you which brand or which one it was. I don't know, because it's like maybe they didn't have the license or the rights to use the actual name of the company that did it. Anyway, this card is modeled after the R327, the National Chicle card from 1934. That's what that is modeled after. Here's your 56 Topps. This one, this one's interesting. These two cards, if you know that one, you should know instantly. This one is without a doubt a T205, one of the two T205 styles. The problem is on the back, it says it's a 1912 C46. In truth, this is the 1912 C46 design, but it says T205 on the back. So that is a little uncorrected error on Topps' part there. Let's keep going. What do you think this is? 60 Topps? Yes, it is. This one tells you right on the front what it is. It's the Z-Nut series. Those were always 1916 Z-Nuts. Here's another one. Most of you will know this without having to flip it over, but for whatever reason, when you flip it over, it simply says 1941 baseball card and does not tell you that this is the 1941 play ball set, but that's what it is. And you get back into some quick ones you'll know right away. This is, that's right, 54 Topps. This one, it says on the front, again, still a design we're used to seeing in this era when Topps started reprinting everything. This is obviously Allen and Ginter. If you know your year, it is 1987, Allen and Ginter. This one is a very famous card to most of us collectors, especially if you watch Mike Moynihan. This obviously is the 33 DeLong. And Mr. Moynihan, baseball collector, got himself a Joe DiMaggio DeLong when he got the Grail collection not too long ago. Shout out to Mike. Here's a harder one. What is this card? Not so easy, is it? 1922 W573 card. Not all of these are slam dunks. Here's a slam dunk, though. Take a second. It is 65 Topps. They do have some modern thrown in here, what I would call certainly not vintage. That is 92 Bowman. They got a lot of throwback styles to the 1800s, too. It is the 1895 Mayo cut plug style. This one's just jumps out at you. Anybody who knows cards knows what this is. 83 Topps. I'm losing it there. Get that back in there. Get that back in there. This one I've learned over watching a lot of the vintage card channels, but I'll give you guys a shot to get that. Two members of the Atlanta Braves. This is the 1941 R330 double play card, and it just says 1941 baseball card on that. Like I said, I don't know why. Some of them are just listed as baseball card, and some of them tell you exactly what it is. This one's a gimme. Everybody knows this style instantly. 62 Topps. This one's a cool one that they threw in here. This is another one. I'm just going to show you this and then turn it over to the back because it doesn't say. It says this is a 1958 baseball card. Great. But where did this come from? A lot of you vintage collectors, a lot of you food item collectors will know this one right away. This is 1958 Hires Root Beer. Pretty much everybody's going to know this one if you're a vintage card collector. It's a little weird because the image is like a photo that was made to look like an illustration when the actual original cards were illustration in the 51 Bowman set. This one is an obvious card. 75 Topps. Not going to give you much chance to think about this one. This one, I imagine somebody out there knows. Maybe Wesker Griff might know this one. On the back, it doesn't tell you much at all. It just says it was a Japanese baseball card. No year, no nothing. So I wasn't able to look it up and figure out what this is. I'm assuming it's a Menko of some year. That kind of a design. I love that they had Ichiro on the Japanese card. That is fantastic. This one should have been able to put the brand name on there if they were able to add the text that they did, but from 1948, this is actually what is known as a Swell Sports Thrills card. That's that design. Another classic Topps one that everybody knows right away, 82 Topps. This one I was kind of happy to see that they threw this style in. See how many, take a little bit of time, see how many of you remember what card this is. I will do a shout out to Ray from Philly and the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. This design comes up regularly for the Hall of Fame voting in the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. I thought maybe, I can't remember if it got in last year, but I've been voting for it for a while. This is your 1909 T204 Ramley, the Ramleys. This one, anybody who's a vintage card collector knows this, the circle photo in the 1959 Topps. Here's another one that should jump out at you. This one was interesting because in actuality, this card product was already highlighted in this trading card history set. I don't know why they chose to reproduce another card from that set rather than going to another classic card design, but this is the second design, the alternate design of the T205s. The other one was that diamond motif, if you remember. This one always gets me. I can never figure out if this is the 1 year or the year after. I always have to think before I can tell you that this is the 66 Topps, not the 67. I always get that mixed up for some reason. This one, if you're a vintage, tobacco collector, you'll know what this is. This is because it's the brown background that gives it away. It is your T207 style. Another more modern Topps style that us vintage card collectors, this isn't even vintage, but the golden age of Topps is the 50s and 60s maybe, but when I was a kid, the golden age of Topps is the 70s and 80s. So you look at this, you know right away that's an 85 Topps. All right, this one, any vintage card collector should know this one right away. But again, it's one that for whatever reason just says 1940 baseball card. Again, for whatever reason, it doesn't appear they had the right to say that this was a play ball card, 1940 play ball. Here is an obvious design. Everybody knows instantly that this is a 1952 Topps. This one I like, this style. I had to think about this one for a second, but luckily it is on the back of this card. I didn't have to look it up. The 1934 Batter Up cards. Really cool picture of Ivan Rodriguez. Looks a little like Nick Piazza there, doesn't he? Just a little bit. This is one of my least favorite Topps designs. I know a lot of people love this. A lot of people love it. I just hate this design. Everybody knows what this is. That is 64 Topps. This one took me a while to figure it out, and I'm not sure if I got it right. This was a hard one for me to pinpoint. Because again, if you go to the back, what does it say? A 1910 baseball card. That's all it says. In my research, I believe this to be the 1910 to 1911 M116 Sporting Life design. Somebody out there correct me if I think it's something different, but that is my guess, and I'm sticking to it. Just so you know, there are 75 cards in this set, all right? This one, everybody knows this style. This is a great style. I'm glad they reproduced this, but again, they just don't have the rights to use the name. They call it a 1961 baseball card, when we all know it to be the 1961 Post. Here's another vintage 80s, 90s, 70s Topps card, your Topps 1984 design. Here's one, a vintage card style, but luckily it was on the back. I didn't have to look this one up because I wouldn't have known that it is a 1910 PC 796 Sepia. This one is interesting. They just give it the name. We all know what this is. This style has been around for a while, but they don't give it a year, I think because this style was available for a while from the Turkey Red Company. So it just says Turkey Red, but doesn't give a year. This is the other one that I always got mixed up with, the 66 and the 67 Topps. Always get those confused for some reason. This one perplexes me. I'm not sure about this one. This one simply says, this is the picture. Somebody out there will know what this design is supposed to be. I couldn't find it when I looked it up. It does tell me the year. It says it's a 1940 baseball card. I looked at every 1940 listing under the tradingcarddatabase.com. I couldn't find one that looked like this. So I don't know what that is. If you know what that is, put it in the comments below. I would love to hear it. This one I recognize the design right away. I've seen it before in some online listings, auction houses and whatnot. I don't believe I've ever seen one in person, but I've seen the design before. Took me a while to figure it out. If you know it right away, you're better than I. It is from 1908 to 1909. The PC 760 Rose Company postcard. But it just said on the back, 1908 baseball card, and I don't know why. Here's another awesome card. It's a nod to the Japanese players. That's Hideki Matsui, and again, it just says Japanese caramel card. I have no idea what year, what maker, or anything, but it's a really cool looking card. All right, who knows what this one is? This one's not an easy one to figure out. I don't think I would have known it if it wasn't on the back. Ooh, I'm knocking things around here, excuse me. But on the back, it tells you it is a 1960 Bazooka. I would not have known that. Now, if you're a fan of your Topps cards, you know right away what this is. This is one of the two products Topps put out in 1951. It is the 51 Topps red back. Had the same design, which is a blue back, but they also had those Connie Mack All-Star cards in 1951. Just saying. I know this guy because I got a bunch of reprint sets from Dave, Blue Jacket 66. Shout out to Dave and his father's basement find when I bought a whole bunch of, when I bought a nice mystery box, and there it came with all the reprint sets. So I knew right away that this was the 1904 Fan Craze set. Here's another one that took me a while to figure out because I don't believe it looks the same as what it claims to be. So this one did not immediately jump out at me. Why? Because of the pink bottom. But I'm pretty sure it is supposed to be a 1961 Golden Press. If you look on the back, it calls itself a 1961 baseball card. But that pink bottom threw me. The layout, the style, the text, pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be. But again, I got confused when I saw the pink text on the modern card. No doubt about what that one is. 1968 Topps. And ditto, no doubt about this one. 1987 Topps. Still a classic design. Here's one that I would have had I had no idea what it was. Luckily, it actually is labeled on the back. Again, I don't know why some are labeled and some are not. 1916 M101-4. Don't know. This one's obvious to anybody who collects cards what this is. Boom, there it is. No time to waste. 1953 Topps card. I like this because, again, it helps me thumb through them and learn what these various card styles are. So if I ever see them in the wild, I will know. This guy here, I would not have known, but it is a 1927 W575-2. There's another one of those 70s and 80s and 90s vintage Topps styles that I adore. And this obviously is your 71 Topps. High on condition because of the black border. Another nod to one of the great Japanese players of the day. This one tells you though what it is. The 1951 Asato Gagu. No idea. No idea. But there you go. Another one of those awesome Japanese cards. I'm assuming it's Japanese. Maybe it's Chinese or Korean. I don't know. Another classic vintage Topps design. That is your 55 Topps. You can always tell the difference between the 55 and the 56 because the 55 has just a solid or a kind of a basic color background. The 56 has been more of the field involved in this. This is the lone card, the only card I have been, I shouldn't say not the only card. This was the one other card, another card I can't place. I have no idea what this is. Okay, let me show it to you first. Maybe somebody out there recognizes this style right away. I do not. I don't know what this is. On the back, it calls it out as a 1932 card. I don't know what manufacturer this is supposed to be. Couldn't find it when I looked it up in the 32 listings under the tradingcarddatabase.com. So if you guys know it, give me a shout out. Let me know. This one is one of my favorite Topps designs. A lot of people don't like this one, where I do. So it's even when you talk about the 64, because I hate that one and a lot of people love it. I love this one, the 1961 Topps design. I think it's very simple, clean, crisp. I love it. This one needs no introduction. Anybody who collected in the the junk wax era, when everybody after Upper Deck came out, everybody started to go to high-end cards because there was a market for it. That is your first Stadium Club release, 1991. Here's another great card from the vintage era of card collecting, the golden era of card collecting. This should be very familiar to anybody who collects cards from the 50s. This is one of the different Red Man things, and they didn't have this one either. 1952 baseball card, it says, but this is the Red Man tobacco style cards. Take a look at this guy. It's another one that should be pretty obvious to anybody out there who collects your vintage cards. A 52 Bowman. 51 and 52 look pretty much alike to a large degree. I love that they go back to these old style 1800s era cards. I really do. 1888 N164 Kimball Champions. Be fun to get an actual card from that set, wouldn't it? And you get into, this one is familiar if you're looking for great rookie cards, harder to find. This is your 49 Bowman, a smaller card size. Here's another great 1800s era card. Love that they did this. 1887 N284 Buckner Gold. This one, knocking things around here. Don't believe I know. I kind of know what this one. So this one, interestingly, it's a Japanese card or a Korean card with an American ball player on it because I believe Torrey Hunter did end up playing a couple years overseas. This is just called out as a 1962 baseball card, And because it is a Japanese or Korean release, I have no idea what the manufacturer was. So you have to forgive me. I'm not good on these really random Japanese cards. I apologize. Another classic Topps design. 58 Topps. This one threw me for a loop. I recognized the design because a couple people, I'm going to turn my phone back again. A couple people have shown this style card before. I couldn't remember what it was. Had to look it up because it just says on the back, 1954 baseball card. But this is 1954 Red Heart dog food release. I love that they put these really oddball oddball cards in this thing. I really do enjoy that. Classic release from Topps, 1980 Topps. Another one of the war era between Topps and Bowman. This is the 53 Topps, or 53 Bowman, excuse me. Another classic 70s era Topps card. This, of course, with the bold and crazy text popping out at you. 72 Topps. We're almost at the end, people. I'm glad you stayed with me. This one is a question mark card. I'm guessing, to the best of my ability, what I'm going to tell you is true, but I don't know because the logo doesn't make sense and the border doesn't make sense. So take a look at this. To me, the closest I could find, it says on the back, it is a 54 card, all right? The best I could say this is a 54 Stollmeyer. Now, Stollmeyer did not have a team logo in the card. They did have a script writing on top with a text rating below, but the border wasn't a solid line. It was two thin lines around the frame. So there's subtle differences in it, but that's the best thing I could say that it was. All right. This one is 77 Topps. Two more. This is one I would have had to look up. And it is from 1922, the E120. Lastly, one last mid-80s classic Topps style. And everybody shouted out together. That is right, the 1986 Topps. So there you have it. That is the full set of 75 cards that make up what is known as Topps The Trading Card History. And I like it. Again, it has a lot of great designs. I love that they put the Post in there. I love that they put the Hires root beer in there. Where was that at? Up front somewhere. I don't remember. There, the Hires root beer was in there. I love that. All the different food, the red bands. When I saw the red band, I thought that was really cool because they didn't just leave it to Topps. They went to other manufacturers too. Clearly, they went to the Bowman because they own it now, but seeing the red band in there was really cool. So I really enjoyed that set. Wanted to show it off now that it's complete. Hope you enjoyed that as well. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? Have a great week. Come back on Sunday for the trivia recap. We'll give away some prizes, all right? Thank you very much for watching, and take care.